Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. So you guys, it is January 2022. It's time to take those budgets to the next level. Let's jump right in. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So if you're new around here, my name's Shakema. I'm a single mom. I have 4 children. I have 2 girls, Alana and Shamika. I have 2 boys, Trandon and Jackson. I have a fur dog. Her name is Gracie. And I have several fur grand dogs. I have Acro. He belongs to Shamika. And Hondo and Snoop belong to Trandon. We're doing all the things zero-based envelope system budgeting around here. So for you new folks, just a little bit of background information about Shakema, about me. We started doing zero-based budgeting about 11 years ago. Jackson was about a year old. At that time, I had about $10,000 worth of debt that was left to me that I had inherited through a divorce. Was a single mom trying to figure out how I was going to feed my kids. And the Lord told me 2 very specific things. Couponing was one, so I became a couponer extraordinaire. And then also he allowed me to take a budgeting class through my church. I did not have the money to pay for it. Someone else asked me if we wanted to take the class together and share materials. I thought that was the way to go. That ended up falling through, but the Lord actually came through and allowed me to get the $100 that I needed to take the class. It all just worked out. Since that time, the kids and I have been on a journey. Now, I want to be very truthful with you. I was always faithful to do my budget, but I wasn't always faithful to stick to my budget. So there's a difference in doing the budget and having fidelity to the budget, right? So I could do it, and I do it with, you know, like nobody's business. I could sit down, I could put the papers, you know, the number to paper or put it on my computer or what have you. But when it came down to following through, I didn't always follow through. And that was probably about the first 6-7 years, honestly. I mean, there was some months we could stick to it and some months we struggled. Now, in the very beginning, I was not getting child support, so I was really struggling trying to do all the things. About 4 years in, we started getting child support. And then once I started having extra money, it never dawned on me, take the extra money and put it towards your debt. That's not a thought process that most people have. They're like, oh, I got extra money, I can spend extra money. Well, you can at times. However, if you have debt, debt will choke you, if that makes any sense. You're so busy worried about where the money's coming from and how you're going to pay it and when you're going to have to pay it and who's going to call your number and can you go to the mailbox. You see what I'm saying? Like it suffocates you, the stress and the pressure of having to pay this person and this person. And then we get into those traps, because I was there as well, not pointing fingers. Now we're going to go to get the payday loans, and now you're getting the money up front, but then when you have to pay, you're paying a fee just to borrow the money, and you're still behind. Or you have too much month and not enough money. So then what do? I struggled from having parent guilt. I didn't want to have to work a full-time job and then go work another full-time job trying to take care of the bills, which would take me away from my children, which was already happening because I was a single parent and I had to work. So that was another thing. But once I got my life together, and this was probably just about 4 years ago, I changed my eating. My mind just seemed to be very clear, right? It just seemed to get extremely clear. And I was like, oh man, something clicked. It was like, Shakema, you've got to do this. And I began to look at my debt. Now, I was paying my minimum payments. Don't get me wrong. I was paying and I wasn't late. I didn't miss a payment, but it was minimum. And most of the minimum payments was going to the interest. Nothing was coming off on the principal. So what I decided to do was, I said, you know what? I'm going to take every single extra additional dime I have and chunk it towards these payments. That was income tax returns. That was bonuses that I would get on my job. I was working and I was in a program where if my students got certified, I would get a specific bonus for the number of kids that I got certified. And I took that very seriously and I worked hard, and those kids paid off. Now, I worked those kids. We went through that curriculum. I knew my curriculum because I was counting on, passing those students. So we were focused. I was focused and the students were focused because we had to pass. I was also concerned about my pass rate. I wanted to, make sure that I was doing everything I needed to do as a good teacher. I wanted my students to be successful. That was so bonuses. Then when we get our teaching supplement, it was everything. And people would come at me crazy. I wouldn't take all my income taxes and pay it towards my debt. I get that. And I worked hard and I wanted to be able to spend some of my money. However, I didn't like that feeling of pressure when the bill collectors were calling. I didn't love that. So the more I paid down the debt, the less stress and pressure I had. And at some point, I finally paid off all of my debt. My children and I have been debt-free for almost 2 years. May of 22 will make 2 solid years that we have been out of debt. And not only are we out of debt, but slowly but surely, because all those chunks that I was paying towards the debt, now they do not have to go towards debt. So where do they go? Well, they help to build up my baby steps. So we have baby step number 1, which is having $1,000 in your emergency fund. That's totally funded, baby step number 1. Baby step number 2 is paying all your consumer debt with the exception of your home. We are done with that. We are now working successfully on baby step number 3. And I'm very thankful for that. I do have a couple projects that I am trying to get done around the house. And so that is kind of going to be a few things that I'm going to be working on in the next couple of months. But I am trying to increase my baby step number 3 as I am able. $11,000 is my goal. I'm not near that goal, but I'm further along than I was, so I'll take it. I do all of the things that I do and encourage you guys to do it as well, because I know the stress and pressure of not being able to do what you want. I know the stress and pressure of not being able to pay what you want to pay or go where you want to go or eat out or take your family on vacation. This year for Christmas, well, last year in 21, we totally 100% cash flowed Christmas. I was able to pay cash for every single thing, every single present that I needed or what I was sending for my children. So I cash flowed Christmas, the first time ever that's happened, where I didn't have to take it from a bill or take it from here and try to make up for it later. We had the money. I did not do a sinking fund on it. I did not. But what I did do was I took my supplement that I get in October and I pulled out from that and put it into a sinking fund. And then as I was buying Christmas gifts, there was money already in there. I pulled out enough for my children and then the gift exchanges that we do at the church with several other families. So that was a great feeling to know that I wasn't taking a little from here and a little from there and a little and a little. Nope, I just took all of the money from that supplement and I put it in that fund and it was there when I needed it. So I've talked this long just to say 2022 is a new year. 2022 for me is no longer about just nickel and dime my baby step. 2022 for me is about really making baby step number 3 be exactly what it needs to be and then moving into baby step number 4. I do a little bit of investing right now. And then baby step number 5 is saving for college. I do not save for college, but I do put money into the kids' savings accounts. I have not yet maxed out my Roth IRA except one time, but that's okay. I'm just going to continue to do the things I need to do. I first of all got to get baby step number 3 where it needs to be. In addition to that, I'm helping my daughter, who will turn 18 at the end of the month, get herself established with budgeting and making sure she knows where her money's going. While she will not be moving out of the house still yet for a couple of years, when she does get ready to move out, I want her to make sure that she knows everything she needs to know so that she can stay in a good financial status, not getting into debt. If she needs something, she can pay cash or she can use her debit card because she has the cash for it. So I do hope and pray that you will jump in these budgets with me as we are moving along into 22 and really working on our goals. So I'm going to take you down to a view of my budget sheet and we're going to work these numbers out together. All right, with all that being said, and I finally have that amount allocated there. Child support comes in usually weekly. And so I haven't received anything just yet, so I won't put anything else in. Up till now, this is all I am having to budget with is $4,889.02. So if I look down here, my total income, that gives me $4,889.02. So that's what I know what I'm budgeting with. Now, I want to do a few things here. So I've got week 1. I'm going to change this. I like to rename this. And I'm going to rename this December 27th through Jan 2nd, just because that week is what that week is. Then I'm going to know that I'm in January, so I'm going to make that the 3rd through, nope, that's not right. That's going to be through the 2nd through 8th. It's a Sunday through a Saturday, so let me change this. Let me rename this through the 1st. My week starts on Sunday. And that's going to be renamed to the 9th through 15th. And then we have the 16th through the 22nd. And then we have the 23rd through the 29th. Of course, we'll put the 30th and the 31st on the next budget, right? Now that I have that done, I do want to show you this. So a couple things are changing in my budget for the month, for the year, for 2022. I'm changing a few things. So this is my weekly view, and you're able to see at the bottom all of my weeks there with the exception of the 30th and the 31st, which we'll get them in no problem. So here's my One Mom tab. This is where I count in all of my revenue, anything that I have as revenue coming in. And then my expenses to get my net revenue. And I keep this because of tax purposes, right? Because YouTube does not take out taxes on me. Anything that I do for One Mom, I'm having to pay my taxes. Hence, I keep a separate account for taxes, right? I know I have to pay those at the end of the year. Then I actually am going back and using this sheet that a friend of mine, her name is Glenda, she has a Etsy shop called Curly Creates, and she has a full budgeting system, right? She has it, you can do your monthly budgets and all of that. Well, I had already been using the MYMT budget, and I'm familiar with that. I didn't want to learn a new system, but I did want a way to keep up with the sinking funds. Now, I normally keep my sinking funds in my Live Rich Planner. I use the Live Rich Planner from the Budget Mom. I used it all last year. I'm using it again this year. I tried the Paycheck by Budget or the Budget by Paycheck little notebooks. I didn't love those. When your mind gets used to a system, you're used to a system. So this works for me, but I wanted to be able to have a way to keep up with my sinking funds because I've added in a few sinking funds, and you'll see a sinking fund video after this video. You'll see this video, you'll see stuff in the cash envelopes, and then you'll see 2022 sinking funds. So I've added in a few sinking funds, but here Glenda already has everything all set up over here on the side. I actually have to go in and change these years from 19 and 20 to 21 and 22. So I've got to change those because I keep using the same sheet over and over and over. So that's why it's like that. But I'm going to go in and change these dates so that they will sync and allow the calculations to happen. So Glenda's already put in all of the formulas. I don't have to do any of that. All the formulas are in, but I do need to make sure up here that my dates are correct, right? I have to make sure that my dates are correct because if they're not, it will not calculate for me. All right, so I've got that all set up now. Went ahead and changed all those dates so that they read the way they're supposed to read. So what I'm going to do now, and I also have a savings sheet, right? Glenda also has one for savings. which I don't have anything in right now. That's just old. That does not even exist, right? I didn't change. I just copied over when I was using it before. So I need to go back in and fix all of this because none of this is correct. Now, so all of those are at the bottom though, and I do like those sheets, and Glenda has helped me to figure out how to use them before, and so I may have to contact her to get a tutorial so that I am able to properly explain it to you all how to use her sheets, these two sheets especially. So I'm going to go back over to my personal budget sheet. This is just my budget sheet at a glance. This shows me everything that I have um, that I'm working with right now. So I have my income categories, and then I do have my expense categories, right? I do have my mortgage, my electric, and all of those types of items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to fill in those numbers so that we know exactly what we're working with. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I had this all right. So now I'm putting in, I do in my budgeted column, put in what I budget as far as expenses. So my mortgage is $960.42. My heating was up a little bit, about $11, 111. No, it was up about 20 bucks. 111.28. My water and sewer, thank the Lord, even though we had that leak, it was only up about $5, so 82.08. My cell phone plus the Disney Plus that I pay for the kids is about $80. Now I pay my cell phone plus $10, and I pick up about $10 of Alana's just because I wanted to make sure that she had insurance on her phone. She has an iPhone, which before she had an Android. Nobody talked to mom about that decision. They should have talked to me first, but her and Shamika were working it out. She ended up with a new phone. The Android would have been totally fine that she had had before. Anyway, I'm just wanting her to have that insurance on her phone just in case something happens. So I pay about $10 of that for her, which is still better because I used to pay $113 for my total cell phone bill, just mine. Internet is $74.99. Moving down, household repairs, I usually put about $50 each month in that sinking fund. Household miscellaneous. So I want to make sure that I have that I pay for the fence, right? So I'm gonna put in about $1,000 for the fence. I'm not sure if that will be enough. Like I said, I only have these two sides and one little piece on the side. So preferably that's enough. It may not be. I have nothing for Mr. Jerome because he doesn't come in the winter months. And then the Disney Plus, I'm gonna put that there. So I'll go back up here and change my cell phone bill to 70. Okay, moving down, my Roth IRA, I usually put in $50. My Amazon Prime is coming due. It's $120. Now, my friend usually gifts that to me for the year because I do order for her, but I think last year I just paid it. And so this year I plan to pay it as well. It's due on the 18th, so I should be okay to pay it, no problem. PureFlix is $9. Moving down, Healthways Gym is 25. Taekwondo is 169. Again, that went up, but we're still saving. Only going 2 days a week in 22, but he's going to 2 classes on one day and 1 class another day until he gets ready to move up to his new class. Federal and state taxes, I never put a number there. $50 I'm going to put for Jackson's homeschool, $20 for sinking fund. So piano and dance, that's going to put me about $250. 120 and plus another $260. Okay, monthly groceries, I usually do $300. I break that down by the week. And then for my sinking funds, I do about $75 for summer groceries, and then $25 I usually do for monthly stock up preps. I'm not doing any entertaining this month, no problem. Personal care and nails, I am going to not get my nails done this month until later in the month, maybe when I get some additional funds. So, but Jackson has to get a haircut. Okay, Jackson a haircut, mom a haircut. So that's $40. I'm gonna schedule. Yes, $40. My sinking fund for my post office box, I usually put $10 there. I don't do anything for clothing and shoes. Cairo is 95. I'm not doing any supplements this month so far. Jackson and sister both get $50 or 25 each. Gracie gets $40 for her sinking fund. I don't have any prescriptions because I still have some of my benefits cards. I'm not paying out of pocket. Gas, I usually allocate about $200 per month, and it's really not enough, but we just work with it. Oil change, $20 is a sinking fund. And I usually do 92, 85 is for my car insurance, and then my registration is 7. Car replacement, I'm not putting anything in that right now because sister's not even driving. She hasn't even gotten her permit yet. So we're putting that off a little bit. My tithe is normally about 500. That is what it is. $30 for St. Michael's. No blow money or thrifting. I want to be able to put at least $250 in my savings account, and I'm not paying a virtual assistant this month. So that right there is $4,788.77, right? That's what I have for the month of January. Let me go back up here. Household miscellaneous, that's going to be $2,000. And the reason that is going to be that way is because $1,000 is for the tree. So I'm going to put in a note. 1,000 is for the tree, and the 1,000 is for the fence. So that's why that's like that. Now, the tree is already down and that has been paid, but I didn't have my budget filled out at the time. So I'm just making a mental note in my mind that I'm able to go in and allocate those funds like that. So that puts me down at needing for the total month, just with what I see here, nothing popping up, $5,788.77. As you can tell, my paycheck was $4,889.02. So I'm a little bit off some here, but again, child support has not come in. One mom revenue has not come in. All of my sinking funds can be negotiated. I don't have to put them in. If I have the money for them, I do. If I don't, we just move forward. We make sure the bills are paid. So everything here is looking really, really well. I'm going to make sure that I walk us through all of the bill payments as they are going out. And when I do my budget update on Sunday, you'll see that I've paid some bills because I haven't paid any bills quite yet. The only thing that did go out was for the tree because that was already scheduled before Christmas. So we got that squared away. Nothing else has happened. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of give you that one little quick overview of where we are. Now, once I start putting bills in weekly, my yellow columns will begin to populate in. But this is what I'm going to need as far as expenses for the month of January. Alrighty, you guys, so there it is. That's the budget for January. Now, one of the things that I do is, of course, I am always looking at my budget, but I'm going to be sticking extremely close to that budget, making sure that I'm meeting my budgeting goals. The budgeting goals for me this year is to get baby step number 3 to $11,000. That is budget goal number 1. I have to get there for my children and myself. And that just means working a little bit harder, strategizing a little bit on how I can make what I have coming in do what I need it to do. If that means relaxing some of my spending and not spending, then I'm not going to spend. That doesn't mean that I'm going to, like I said, I'm not going to lock myself down. But I've got goals, and the goals, even though I don't have debt, I've got savings goals now. I want to save, and I want to be able to help Alana when she is ready to get her car. We're probably looking at another year. She hasn't even gotten her permit yet and hasn't really driven outside of driver's ed. It's not something that she is ultra comfortable with. So we want her to be comfortable before we even consider getting a vehicle for her. So I still have time on that, which is perfect for me because my goal is not to help her with her car more than it is to get that savings fund up. I'm going to be strategizing on how to increase my side hustles this year. What can I do that's going to help generate some income for my family? And so you'll be hearing some more things about that in the next coming months. You'll be seeing things that I'm working on and different things like that. So I hope that I am going to encourage you guys to really focus on those budgets this year. I think it's necessary that we get ourselves out of debt and position to be able to make whatever major moves we need to make as the years move along. If some type of grandiose events happens, I'm sure nobody will be thinking about their debt. But what if it doesn't, right? Don't you want to? I want to be in a position to help if I'm able. I want to be in a position to help further the kingdom. I want to be in a position to help my children. I want to be in a position to do all of the things that I have up to this point not been able to do. I've been able to do some things. I've had a measure of success, but I haven't done all the things. And with that being said, I want to do all the things. So anywho, I'm going to be sticking very closely to my budget. I've got some goals, y'all. I mean, you're going to be like, Shakema, you boring. Nothing is happening in your budget, but you're going to be seeing those numbers increase because I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what is happening here over on the channel in 1 month. So anywho, you guys, there it is. The budget for January 2022, first budget of the year. I'm excited. I hope you are. I don't know if this is encouraging to you, but it is encouraging to me. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you have any questions about budgeting, leave us a comment down below. The sheet that I use is always in the description box. Just highlight it, pop it into your URL, hit enter, and it should automatically download for you. If they ask you to pay a fee, it's not the right sheet. If it doesn't give you an auto download, it's not the right sheet. But it should be because I copied it right from where I downloaded it from. So anywho, there it is, you guys. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell so you never miss an upload from us. Thank you all so much for being with us on our budgeting journey. We appreciate you, we love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.